Hello YouTube, what is going on? This is Epic Big Bird and I am back with some more Rome 2 Total War Online commentary action to do for you all today. In this battle I'm going to expand upon the Tylis faction, which is new in the Pirates and Raiders DLC. This is a large funds battle and I'm facing off against an Epirus opponent on a sandy map. Not sure which one this is. Let's go over my unit composition real quick. On my front line, I've brought in 5 sets of Thracian warriors. These are the medium melee infantry units. These guys cost about 700 denarii. So further, these are the Falx units. So these are going to be high damage on the charge. You can see with a charge bonus of 33, bonus versus infantry of 15. Melee attack of 45 and weapon damage of 51. These guys are going to be quite punishing in a melee. However, they're going to fall quickly after the charge due to their low armor. Or excuse me, not their low armor, their low melee defense and their low armor. Behind them I have 5 sets of tribal warriors, which are, these guys cost about 700 denarii, and for the cost I would say they're quite worth it, with melee defense of 70, armor 65, base morale of 55. It means that they're going to be able to hold out in a melee for a very long time. These guys come equipped with Pila as well, so that's going to make them pretty dangerous on the charge. These are Oathsworn here holding the flank. So excuse me, I have 3 tribal warriors and then an Oathsworn on each flank. And then holding my army in place I have 4 spear warriors. On each flank I have I have 2 noble horse on my left and 3 noble horse on my right, as well as a light horse. So we're gonna kite forward. Looks like our opponent today has fielded 4 mercenary Cretans, 5 hoplites, 3 royal peltists, an Aspis companion cav, and a Hellenic royal guard over here, and 3 Aspis companions over here. So I have no skirmishers, so I'm going to go ahead and charge my infantry ahead right away. You can see here his Cretans are going to focus fire these Thracian warriors, and that's going to be pretty deadly to them. Again, that's going to be their low health and not a very high shield value, means that they're going to be quite vulnerable to missiles. This is a good thing to take note of here, guys. These Thracians are going to be quite vulnerable and susceptible to missile fire. So that's a good weapon to use against them. Here I get a good charge in on my Thracians. Here we get good charges in on his Aspis. We catch them asleep. Over here we get the same thing. Get really good charges on his Aspis cav and his Hellenic Royal Guard cav. That's going to be really bad for him. We're also splitting off spear warriors on each flank to go and help the cavalry fight. And our light horse are now getting into the backs of these mercenary Cretans. It's going to force his general to respond. He's splitting off 2 royal peltists in each direction to his flanks to try and aid in the cavalry fight. Even though we got a really good charge in on these Aspis companion cav, they are going to last a very, very long time in this melee. Look at that. With an armor of 85, weapon damage of 43, and a melee attack of 68, these guys are still going to be very, very punishing in this fight. So we're going to have to be careful. To respond to these royal peltists, I'm going to send in a set of Oathsworn along with reinforcing with another set of spear warriors. I'm sending forward my main infantry corps of tribal warriors along with 1 more set of Oathsworn to get around the flank. Here my light horse gets wasted against his royal peltists. We did do some damage to his Cretans, but they are still alive in the late game. Our Thracian warriors are actually doing quite well against his hoplites. And over here the cavalry engagement is going our way. We have some freed units up, but we can see that the infantry engagement is still taking quite a long time to wrap up. Here our Oathsworn are back from the cavalry engagement, and they're gonna help wrap up this flank real quick. His Cretan archers are still pretty dangerous. We're gonna take a charge into his Royal Peltists while they're not really ready. Get about 10 kills on the charge, and then we're gonna pull right out and go after his Cretans here. You can see these Aspis Cav are still there. You see they managed to rout some of my spear nobles, spear warriors. That's actually pretty scary. Pretty crazy that these Aspis Cav are holding in there. They have support from Thracian warriors, but even then. But you can see the infantry corps is finally starting to collapse. We're finally cracked through his hoplite wall. Here we have some tribal warriors getting into these Royal Peltists. It's not going to be a really good engagement for my tribal warriors. These Royal Peltists will cut right through them. Here my Cav finally getting into his Cretan archers, but they're going to be take a lot of archer volleys while they're trying to run them down. But you can see over here these Aspis Cav are finally starting to rout, and this is what I'm talking about, guys. You can see down on the left these Aspis Cav are still fighting quite strong. Again, they have support from Royal Peltists right now, but these guys are holding out very, very admirably. All the way into the late game, you can see. However, he's not going to be able to get through my cavalry quick enough to make a difference in this fight. So this is pretty much the end of the battle, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. I liked it. I think it highlights Tylis really well, highlights what it's good at, what it's bad at, and I liked taking them up against Epirus, someone who's a little bit more capable of defending themselves. So as far as how the battle went, I would say if my ally would have gotten charges off on his cav, they probably would have beasted my own noble cav. Aspis Companion cav are very, very powerful cavalry, and I was very fortunate to catch them on the charge. Yeah, they definitely would have beat my noble horse on a cav charge. With his Royal Peltists reinforcing, that might have been enough to turn the tide. When I sent forward my spear units, that's what I would have had to do against his Aspis Cav anyways, was reinforced with spear units. But then when he reinforced with his Royal Peltists, you can see he pulled some very nice numbers out of his Royal Peltists, and those were mostly being used on the flanks. So again, if he would have been able to get his Aspis Cav charges off, he probably would have won that fight. Here, let's take a look at my Thracian warriors. These three Thracian warriors doing incredibly well on the charge. These guys were my frontline units. These guys probably got cut down by archer fire, but everyone else really definitely paying themselves off here. My Oathsworn units both breaking 100 kills, so I'm happy with that. Most of my noble horse doing fairly okay. Again, they were fighting Royal Peltists and Aspis Companion Cav, so that's definitely a hard fight for them to get through. This noble horse unit breaking 237 kills. That's probably archer, due to his archers. Speaking of his archers, I didn't do a very good job of neutralizing them very quickly. I had opportunities to, but kind of squandered those opportunities. So I should really get better at that. His archers could have been more devastating in the late game. And my tribal warriors, again, doing their job, holding the flank, and actually gaining quite a few respectable kills. So yes, thank you guys so much for checking out my video. I hope you learned something tactical. Hope you enjoyed the fight, guys. Thank you so much for checking this video out. This has been Epic Big Bird, signing off.